Welcome, and as Felix says, let's do this. Welcome to Countercharge Live. Good to see Felix watching us. He's been having a bit of a battle. We love you, Felix.
We love you, Felix.
Yeah. And,
one of the OG After Darks. He was there for the original Rubber Band Man. So
wasn't he?
Not many people can claim are still around from the Rubber Band Man era. Oh my God, Croger! If only you were on at that night, you could have been all like, "That's not a rubber band. This is a rubber band.
This is a rubber band." Yeah. I don't think even Countercharge After Dark gets quite as wild anymore, does it?
No, it's very much like PG-13. It's as opposed to NC-17. So
yeah,
but it's cool.
Needs more nudity.
I think so.
Yeah. Hello, Facebook user. So you just have to allow StreamYard, guys, because if you're watching from Facebook, because I'm not watching the Facebook page and it won't tell us who you are if not, because my computer at work is a pack of poo at the moment and I'm waiting for it to be replaced. So I'm closing as much as possible as we run this. Yeah. How you been, Jeremy?
Pretty good. Yeah. People can tune in tonight for an episode of Croger and the J. Which is like our 1980s buddy cop sitcom drama.
Yeah, it's a boy love club.
So fighting crime.
Yeah.
It's good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just battling along, getting ready for the tournament next week.
One more week, right?
One more
Clash
week.
of Kings. Are you in that like, oh my God, I still have so much to do? Or are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Suddenly on Friday Arvo, I went, holy shit, I've got more to do than what I thought, because it's like 5 or 6 times now. You kind of just you get a false sense of you get complacent.
You think you're prepared when you're not prepared.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I looked at my list. I was like, I haven't even counted how many clocks I've got.
Oh, geez.
Things like that. I'm pretty sure I've got enough.
Now, do you provide all the terrain, or do you guys bring terrain in from the different clubs, or how do you guys do terrain at Clash of Kings?
A bit of both, mate. So I've got about 8 to 10 tables. Michael Clark provides about 8 tables, and then we get bits and pieces from the rest. Usually mats is where we struggle, but the community all chips in and gets us the mats, and we get the job done.
Nice. And that's Clarky, right? Is he known as Michael Clark?
Yeah, that's Clarky. That's right.
Clarky, okay.
Yep.
And how many people? Man. Yeah, how many people do you have signed up?
Look, we've come down to 49 so far. Okay. So we've waxed and waned. We hit 60 at one point, but Omicron is running wild. So a few people have decided to stay home. The whole state of Queensland is sucked out, and they're staying home. But they're the dirtiest lot anyway, so it's probably actually less chance of being an issue without them here.
Okay. Are those the ones who you don't know if they read well? Basically, it's that group of guys that you've discussed previously.
Yes. Yeah. They're there. I don't have access to an easy access fire hydrant to hose them down before they come into the to the. So it's not it's not too big a deal, Yeah.
But 40 is still good. I think 40 to 60, you still feel like it's a big event. Like when you have that many people.
I'm totally confident if Omicron wasn't running rampant, then we would have had our biggest one. I reckon we would have got.
Which is what would have been the biggest?
We've done low 60s a couple of years ago.
Low 60s. Okay. Cool.
Yep. We bottomed out last year when we were just out of lockdown at 29. So to be back up at around 50 marks, pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's good. I agree with you.
Yeah. Someone asked what's the standard terrain setup. So we're using the blackjack mats, which are just essentially variations on the Epic Dwarf, but with a little bit of extra. They're just a little there's a couple that have an obstacle on a hill and things like that.
Oh yeah, the combiners.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a little more varied, but essentially same theory. We just set map for each table, and then you randomize the tables. So top table isn't necessarily table 1.
And do you do like on each table, is there like a picture of what the table should look like if the terrain gets moved around?
Yeah. So the players are meant to kind of go there and make sure it's all in.
And then agree with each other and be like, hey, does it look good to you? Okay, it looks good to me. Let's get it on.
Totally. Yeah. Nice. Have you been? What hobby you been up to?
Oh, I've been painting a lot. So Riddle of Seals in February. We just did a Riddle of Seal episode, so go listen to that if you haven't. So I'm borrowing some models for Brenton, and some I'm going to have my actual Twilightkin that I'm finished. And I've been working on my Mind Screeches.
Filth.
And
Classic filth.
yeah, and my gargoyles. So I'm trying to really focus on that, but I've been getting a good at least an hour every day, sometimes 2 or 3 hours every day. So I've been trying to put in the time. So that's been a lot of fun. So that's what I'm working on. That, and we're gonna have for Riddle, we're having a lot of Keith Conroy's coming, U.S. Master of last year. Pacific Northwest guys are coming. Hot Dan and some of the it's going to be one of our biggest and tournaments, and especially like people coming in, that we're capped at 13 tables, so it's 26 players, but it's going to be like some serious competition. 26 players, but 20 of those 26, 20, 15 to 20 are all perennial Masters qualifiers and last year's U.S. Master.
Yeah.
So
tough field.
It's going to be a legit tournament, which is great. So it's just been,
lucky you've already won your one tournament for the season, mate.
Yeah, I'm good. So I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll have a good time. I've already qualified for Masters. No one's gonna catch me. So, if I lose, it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I try to win, as anyone, but
yeah.
So there's all those questions. All those questions of trying to help people get their Airbnb set up, and Rashad is the TO, but he's in Germany right now with his a lady fair. So, and it's the month before a tournament. So everyone's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then
does he even get to call himself the TO then if he's not even there?
No, he is. Well, he's coming. He'll be back for the actual event. But I always tell him he is like the Flavor Flav of Riddle Steel. He is like the idea hype man, and Britton is coming in to be the logistical run tabletop TO man.
So Brenton's like adding the salt, but Rashad is the stock.
Brenton is like a product manager for Sony, so he is like legit PowerPoint slide deck up the wazoo. Like, he is super organized, and Rashad's just the passion idea guy. So we're trying to combine them together to form the ultimate.
Make the ultimate TO. Yeah,
it's like Voltron. It's like we got to get all the lions together.
But how much power does Brenton have? He couldn't even get me a PS5 early.
Yeah,
I know. For ages.
Yeah, it's like, what good are you having a friend who works for Sony PlayStation? No, I'm just kidding. He gets me things all the time, but
yeah, right. Okay.
So I've just been painting. I had a UB game last night against Brenton was trying out triple Earth Elemental Surge list with triple Earth Elemental hordes and 2 greater Earth Elementals and tons of Surge. And I really wanted the stress test, so I was like, let's play Dominate. Because that's a really tough list to play in against Dominate. And I found out that it was tough, but man, Alchemist Curse is so good. Because I have it on my level 3 spellcaster. So when you're being able to throw 10 dice for Alchemist Curse, that's pretty nice. Yeah, have you gotten any game? Have you been playing any games lately?
Yeah, I play every Monday night. I'm not because it's Monday here. I'm not playing tonight because I've got too much to get done for the tournament. But yeah, I did an intro-ish kind of game, so it was his second, third game last week.
Cool.
With a new guy locally, so I gave him a tabling to teach him a few lessons.
Get the tears. You got to get the tears flowing. The skill lubricant, as I call it.
That's how you play, yo.
Yeah. This is a flank charge.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because I just talked him through the whole game exactly what I'm doing, but it just takes a while to get that abstraction about it almost being like chess. That sacrifice and So that'll be good. That's and it was using a list that I would probably never use at a tournament, which essentially has 2 phoenixes. So it has a phoenix and Samacris, right, at 2,000 points.
Yeah, that's tough at 2,000 points.
Yeah, it's a lot of points, but I did have one turn between the various Radiance of Lives and a good couple of good heal rolls that I think I knocked off about 10 wounds and took them to unwounded.
As a base alien player, what is your thought on the whole Phoenix Samacris?
Samacris easily better.
Okay.
Yeah, I angled a little bit too late during play testing. I think the Phoenix needs something more.
I think it's not unique enough from Sam. I mean, in other armies it's great, but I think in base aliens specifically, I mean, I'm always going to want to take Samacris because she is just such a great piece.
Yeah, even something like a little bump to heal, like 2 extra dice or something on the Phoenix would
Yeah,
might get it there.
I hear you.
Yeah, it just doesn't do enough. And when you take into account the different in base size too, that's what makes Samacris so good.
You really do pay a size tax on that big 50 or 75, right? Phoenix is on a 75. Yeah, makes it much more difficult to get into those little spots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I played a game.
Cool.
Had a question from Chuck here. Do you all have minimum width between terrain pieces? Absolutely not. So, I don't know. I didn't realize that was a thing anywhere.
Well, in Texas, they usually do the dot deployment. You know, where you put a piece of terrain on a dot, and the dots are kind of like spread out to not be too close to each other.
Yeah, cool. All right. And then I hope you can make it down too. I think that is Mike Painter. So cool. So today we thought we'd take a bit of a look at the Clash of Kings Australia list. How do you feel about that, mate? That's all right?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we could start with some stats. I'll just share my screen here and let's hope my computer behaves. Chrome tab. All right, let's share this bad boy and let me just make sure that image is.
Now, you know what they need to do? They need to make, since everything is bigger in Australia, the Cock Australia has got to give you a plane ticket to both the US Clash of Kings and the UK Clash of Kings.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what I'm going to start trying to.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Oh, that's come up quite small, disappointingly. Let's see. Does that help at all?
Can you do Control Plus to just make your browser bigger?
Oh, I love it when you talk shortcuts to me. Oh, no, that prints. Control Plus. Hold on.
Control Plus. Yeah.
No, that's making it weirdly. No.
Okay. Sometimes, depending on how you have your Windows set up, that can.
Right. So this is what I found interesting. 5 elves.
Oh, and is that tracking just? Is that just like just straight elves, like Twilight Kin?
That's straight elves. There are no Twilight Kin.
Interesting.
And there's 3 Sylvan Kin.
Okay.
So 8 elves out of a field of 49 is a fair bit.
I wonder what those lists are going to be like, but we'll look at some of them, right?
We'll look at some of them, and my feeling is that it's primarily based on collections, and probably that elves are more viable now rather than people filth listing, because probably about half the field don't play regular tournaments.
Okay.
So it's not a super filthy field. Then coming in second, we have dwarfs at 4, and dwarfs of the original and the best flavor, the Imperial Dwarfs. There's actually no free dwarfs going around, which is interesting.
Yeah.
This chart doesn't show all the ones either, actually. So I can tell you, we were chatting about this in another chat, exactly what is not represented. So there's no free dwarfs, no halflings or rift-forged orcs yet.
Now that makes sense, right? These people are still working on those armies.
Agree. Yep. No Twilight Kin. But there's also no Brother Mark or Lady Bros.
Now the no Lady Bros is interesting because that has been even before the pack. That was an army that people were working on. I thought.
Yep. I wonder if people have gone to, because of the tie-in with nature, whether people feel like nature is a better Lady Bros. Maybe. Yeah, because there's a few nature going around. So we've got 4 dwarves, 3 Basalia TM. Yep. 4 salamanders.
That's interesting.
Very interesting, and most of them piloted by pretty good players.
Well, it's a tough army, man.
Yeah, 3 forces of nature. 3 gobos, 4 Nightstalkers. That's where the real filth's at, is the Nightstalkers.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. 3 undead, and one of those is actually Jarvis.
Ooh, man after my own heart.
Yep. 2 Empire of Dust, so that's a total of 5 undead-ish.
Okay.
And then we've got a couple of orcs, 3 abyssal dwarves, 1 Varangur, I think 1 Northern Alliance, and 3 forces of nature, 1 herd, 1 Trident Realm. Someone's pointed out to me that I'm wearing a very Trident Realm friendly shirt today. one Forces of the Abyss.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty interesting split.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only a few not represented, which is not bad
Mhm.
in a when it's 49 players.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. You have almost everything.
Yep. So if I go to this tab now, this shows us now these lists are going to appear in different formats. Most of them have used the text format from Easy Army.
Okay.
But straight up here, we've got one of the elves. So we've got, I don't think you can have an elf list without a Palace Guard Horde, can you, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty standard. Nice.
Yeah.
Block a
Yep.
unit strength.
Yep. Couple of archmages with lightning bolt, again pretty standard. Couple of Stormwind cavalry regiments, which is interesting. They've both got the various Pathfinder boots. But what I find interesting is I love the upgrade on them. The one upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah. And then a couple of troops of Gladestalkers, regiment of archers, a lord on Drakon, tall spears horde, and some silver priests. So a fair bit of shooting there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Elven Archmages are good. I mean, the only, a pretty, some nice tools, but like you said, I don't see a lot of people play the Knights as much.
No, I think they've also. I think in version 2 they were certainly worse than Drakons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I don't know. I certainly like the 15-point upgrade to give them a nerve
Totally.
bump, and yeah.
Totally. And I forget, is that a once per army, or is
It is
that
once per army? Yeah.
once per army?
Yep.
Well, I mean those guys with nimble are amazing. And because you're getting the nerve plus nimble.
Plus
So
nimble.
if you
Yep.
so if you give them a then for their item, give them a movement item. I mean, and they're speed 9 cap too, I'm pretty sure. So you have speed 9 nimble pathfinder. I mean that unit then becomes super scary.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think, and it's for 15 points, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm probably going to see. Is I don't know if we'll see like double, but I think we're going to see a lot of elf lists that take the one regiment of cav to maybe support Dracons or something as a speed element.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
With that upgrade.
Yep. And don't fear, everyone. We're not going to go 25 points. Nick Legrand said 25, which is fair.
Okay. Yeah.
Still pretty good. Yeah, we're not going to go through every single list, so don't panic, everyone.
No.
We may as well see the Zay's list, Adrian's list, who is the single Trident Realms player though, and he's named it I Pity the Thul that didn't take a Kraken.
Nice.
So he's got a bit of Thul spam there. A
I
couple of
love the
Realms.
the Thul regiments.
Oh yeah. So much better since COD.
Big time.
Yep. Knuckers, Coral Giant. Oh, he's the biggest bay now. Yep. Aquamage. So that, I think that's good. Scorched Earth paired with Ensnare.
Yeah.
Is real tasty.
Yeah, just doubling down on that. Want to make them stick. Yep.
Thul Mythicon with the Trickster's Wand, another common item these days. And then the Hidden Ones formation, which, even though we talked about it on the podcast, that's the gives them Pathfinder, doesn't it? Yeah, with the Sacred Horn, so on the Mythicon. So that's a tidy list, I reckon. It'll die to someone farting in its general direction, but it can put out some hurt.
You know what it is? I think if you want to take, I think that we were talking about Tidal Swarm with Barkskin. Like, what annoying of a unit that would be. It's already hard enough to. I think that there's something there that if you like running Barkskin in this list, Barkskinning the Tidal Swarm is just so annoying.
I think Barkskinning almost anything in this list is annoying, right?
But especially at that defense too.
I
think Barkskin in Trident Realms is really good.
Oh yeah, it's a natural combo.
Yeah.
All right, so let's find something different. We'll come back to Andrew Goodman. He's got the filthiest list in the tournament,
Ben Rental. What's Ben taking?
Yeah. So called Benson's Splody Boys.
Okay.
Okay. So he has Sharpsticks Horde.
Okay.
Upgrade with Det Packs. Do you know what that does? Oh, this is all a little bit out of whack. Sorry. So on the Horde only, I have no idea what that does. So he's got Oh, this
I
is
don't know
all.
either.
Yeah, this is copy and pasted.
Oh, well, we can look at someone else's that's better organized.
I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I think if we do it, so he's got a Sharpsticks Horde
Okay.
that upgrades it to Grogger's Lug Lads. Then he's got a Horde of Trolls. No. Okay. He's got a Sharpsticks Horde, Grogger's with Fire Oil, Grogger's
This is
Lug
like the
Lads are another
This is like
Horde.
the Da Vinci Code. Trying to
Yeah, I
read
know,
this
isn't
thing.
it? I know.
Good
Sorry,
thing they're
guys.
really,
Yeah.
you know, maybe not as many lists, but the lists they have are really well produced.
Yeah. A Horde of Trolls. So we've got 3 Hordes straight up with Chalice of Wrath. Yep. And then we've got some more beast packs, a couple of war trombones, a couple of wingets with upgrades, a king, a flagget, a whiz, and then the explodomatic bag sticks formation, which I love that. I reckon that's really cool.
Yeah. Is that the one where they explode? They get exploding dice?
Yes. Yeah. So yep. And the damage goes on them, but they don't have to roll a nerve test. Yeah. So I think that's a I think that's a cool
solid,
list.
solid goblin list.
Yeah, it'll catch a few people out, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, debt packs. There we go. Explode when they die. So that's the ones above.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then the formation.
What's up, Selick?
Brendan, let's jump past that. I saw in a couple of the salamanders they had the new Pale Rider one, so that's obviously a good upgrade.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's another. This is one's called Tidarian, Your Friend. So this is another one of the elf lists.
Okay.
So, this has got a big amount of shooting at the start. So 2 Kindred Gladestalker regiments. 2 Therenian Sea Guard hordes. Stormwind Cav upgraded to the Quicksilver Lancers.
Yep.
Tree Herder for everything to fall against. Tidarian Dragon Lord and 2 Archmages.
9 drops is really elite.
Yeah, isn't it?
Really elite.
Yeah. And so obviously then he's reasonably he's specialized that bottom Archmage to just be there for high defense stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fair because that's a problem with elves, right? Is punching through.
And you put it on a horse, that makes the 12-inch Alchemist Curse not as bad, right? Because you have the speed of being on a horse with this style list.
And their horses are 8 or 9? I can't remember. And then I like Celestial Restoration too, although it is one of those spells because you've got to roll the 4+ first. For 35 points, it can do nothing. But I think it's a natural match to the Archmage because of the level 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Celestial, if you take it, you got to take it on a 3-caster, I think, because it's a lot of points. How many times have you failed a Bane Chant 2? You know, it's the same thing at 2 dice.
Yeah, so it is 9 inches. Dave's just said, my biggest regret seeing these lists is not finding a funny name for my army. Well, it's not too late, Dave. You can still scribble it on in crayon at the top. A Sylvankin list next. So Danny Bird.
That name is familiar to me. What's
he is an elite painter. Danny.
Oh, he's a really nice painter, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen some of his stuff.
So we'll have to get some pictures up of his army because I'm sure it'll be beautiful. So he's got a couple of troops of boss wraiths. Skirmishers boots. That's a cool item on them. So that's gives them nimble, right?
Yes, for only troops. You can't put it on a regiment, right?
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's some top level chaff. They are Forest Guard Horde with Brewer Strength.
Love it.
Yep. Imagine that coming off a hill.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah,
and those guys, those are the ones who have Pathfinder, I believe, the Forest Guard.
Yeah. So they go through anything.
Yep. 3s with elite.
Yep. Wild Gur Panthers troop. We've got the King with Beast Slayer and the Shard Blade, which makes him hitting on 2s from memory.
With elite, yeah. That's what the Shard Blade upgrade is. You hit on 2s.
And then upgrading to the Wanderer, which then upgrades him to speed 7, I think, and something else. Yep. Maybe someone else in the stream can tell us. The Archmage with Shroud and Heal and Bane Chant makes sense. Wiltfather, the Stormwind Cavalry upgraded. And they're gaining Pathfinder for another 15 points. And then 3 regiments of Gladestalkers with Deathroot arrows. I think that's a good list.
Yes, I think that is a good. I think that you got a little bit of you got some chaff. You got one big punchy horde. You got a lot of versatile shooting regiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little list for sure.
Yeah. And so for and someone said so it upgrades his attacks to 7. So Neil on the Facebook thread has posted if anyone wants to check out ecumenical_mate on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, thanks Neil. Yeah, his stuff is
Yeah.
great. Really nice
Yeah.
painter.
Yeah. Thanks, Neil. Queenslanders can be useful. Thanks, mate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let's go back up to the Filth Master, Andrew Goodman.
Is it all obsidian golems and this? Because he used to run that, right?
He was the triple mortar.
The triple mortar, yeah.
Yeah. So this is some nasty level shit.
And he's playing Nightstalkers, it looks like.
Yep, Nightstalkers.
Okay.
So 3 Butcher's Hordes. Very good.
Yes.
3 Mind Screechers.
Yes.
Yep. A Void Lurker, one of the best dragons in the game.
Like it.
Yep. 2 Scarecrow regiments, which I assume are for maybe for unlocks. Oh, it doesn't look like he needs the unlocks.
Sit on objective token, cheap regiments, you know.
Yep. 2 Horrors, so some extra lightning bolt there.
Good.
A Phantom's Troop. A Planar Apparition, that's the heal 7
one,
isn't it?
Yes, that's the heal monster. Yeah.
Yeah, and Portal of Despair. What does that do, mate?
The Portal of Despair. I think it has something where you can give something inspiring. Here, let me look it up.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think that's what it's in my brain is saying, but let me I'll just pull up their list really quick. Quick create Portal of Despair. Visions from the Void, but I gotta buy a regiment so I can buy it, and then we'll buy the portal, and then we'll view the list. As long as this unit is present on the table at the start of each of your range phases, you select a friendly core unit on the battlefield, regardless of range or line. And then that unit gains inspiring.
Yeah. So that's a top for 90 points. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. So I think what's that? That's about how many lightning the Mind Screech have?
6 apiece.
6. So that's 6, 12, 18. The Horrors have 5, I want to say.
That I am not
6,
sure.
12, 18, 23. So 28 lightning a turn.
Yeah.
And heal 7. So I think that's the.
They have lightning bolt 3, the Horrors.
Oh, do they? Okay. Yeah. So heal 24 then, or something like that. Or 23. I think this is a really solid list.
It's very good.
And I think we always forget with the Mind Screechers that they've got other options too. So
shh. Don't talk about that. No, they don't. They can only lightning bolt. Be quiet. No, having said that, Wind Blast is an amazing spell.
Right.
And when you have Wind Blast 18 to push people out of a forest to behind the forest so they can't see through it anymore, move people off objectives. Yeah, you can do a lot with Mind Screeches.
And I think that's the thing, right? Most options for Wind Blast in the game, you don't want to take 3 things to get that volume of Wind Blast, but really you're taking Mind Screechers for their lightning, and Wind Blast is a nicer side. So if they survive, they can just win you the game last turn.
They are amazing late game pieces. Another tip, when you have these, you don't want to give them up as emergency chaff unless you absolutely have to, because being able to move onto an objective and then you're exactly right. They're amazing late game.
Because what's the third spell? Is it Mind Fog?
Weakness. Mind Fog. No, it is Mind Fog.
Yeah. So literally they can just pop things with a nerve test late game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, Mr. Goodman's well known for being.
Yeah, remember Mind Fog does shattering now. So if you're worried that you're gonna not wound with your lightning bolt, and all I need is to trigger a nerve test, I don't need to do any damage. Yeah. Then you have the Mind Fog.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that point for point, that'd have to be best monster in the game right now. Do you reckon?
Top 3.
Yeah,
I would say. I don't know what do you classify a Lord on Frostfang? That's like a hero monster.
No, he'd be number 1.
He's probably got to be number 1 when you're looking for point, but the Mind Screech is way up there for sure.
Yep. So let's.
What is Tracy bringing?
What's Tracy bringing? Okay, let's scroll down. Here we go. So I was surprised when I saw this. So this is interesting.
Interesting.
this is quite typically Trash in that you might not necessarily expect it. So running Forces of Nature, so Hunters
Okay.
of the Wild Regiment, 2 Centaur Bride Striders, both with their Frenzied Otter, 2 Riverborn Naiad Worm Riders, which I think are probably the best variety these days. I think they're better than the Nimble ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Greater Fire Elemental, 2 Greater Air Elementals, both with Lightning 3. And what else we got? A Druid with Surge 4. 2 Unicorns without heal. He's taking the Lightning Bolt instead. But one of them's got Tome of Darkness for a bit of sneaky surge, which you wouldn't see very frequently. That's what it does, isn't it? Tome of Darkness. That's the
yes, it
surge
increases
item.
increases your surge dice. Yeah.
Yeah, by 4. I think it's surge
Surge.
4.
I think it is 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Avatar of the Green Lady.
He's got those greater air elementals at speed. See, this is such a trashy list in that you think about it, and then once you start looking at all the components and thinking about how do these components work together.
Yeah. Well, even if you think like even just changing the unicorns, all of a sudden by taking those upgrades for 20 points on the air elementals, you've got Lightning 16.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
very, very good. And then he's got some speed and punch. Super solid list.
And just a little bit of cheeky surge. So if he kind of drops that air elemental next to you, or in his case, ideally behind you. And the thing is they're a little like these greater fire elementals. You can see that he's picked the ones that are melee 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much more reliable.
Yes.
I think for me, most of the ones on that are melee 4 don't quite cut the mustard when it comes to what you want them to do.
And these ones, especially if you want to sprinkle in some surge and look for those cheeky surge flanks, these are the ones that really hurt you when they get into a flank, hitting on that 3s over like the 4+ monsters. I dig it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick saying someone's and Andrew, who we were talking about, his list said, yeah, the Windblaster's gold.
Yeah. See, he knows. He knows what we're talking about. He knows that we're not supposed to talk about Windblast on the mic screen.
Speaking of Hugh from Direct Messfire's watching, so we might.
Oh, what's up, Hugh?
I think we just scrolled past his list, and given he's the only Filthy Rat player, let's go back there. Here he is. Hugh Evans' first taste of Cock 22. Ooh. I think he could have dropped the 22.
It's the amuse bouche of Cock 2022. Okay.
So he's gone for a reasonably. I mean, it's still 13 units, but it's not. It's not the
a little bit on the lower side, right?
Yeah, for Ratkin. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's still got
this is 2K,
action.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
2K.
Got it.
So he's got a shock troop horde with the scrying gem, so that's going to help him a little bit with drops. Another horde with the plague pots. Tunnel runners regiment with brew of sharpness.
Ooh,
when he sent
nasty.
this through, I did a double take. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah,
because their regiment has an unusually high amount of attacks.
So he's saving points and getting the cheaper version of it. And like you said, they got a lot of attacks in the regiment on those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that is for the discount cost of the item. That's
I dig it.
Very nice.
Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah. Smoke and Mirrors formation. It's got the 2 shredders and the death engine. So that's the 3 basically war machines, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me see. I want to keep reading. I want to look that up because I forget what that
you
does.
Look that up.
Yeah.
And then we've got a Vermintide regiment for some chaff. Twitch Keeneer, who is gold. That's I can't remember. Is Twitch the one that holds the penis staff though? Was that another special character?
I don't know. He has Eye of the Abyss special role.
The cock and ball staff. There we go. They get to redeploy all 3 Iron Resolve and Inspire on the spewer.
Okay, yeah, so the Death Engine Spear gains the aura Iron Resolve.
It'd be very Hugh if it was the model.
Inspiring and steady aim. Okay, cool. And then that's the Impale or Death Engine Spear.
So the 2 shredders and the spewer. Yep.
Okay, and the spear is the shooty version, right? Of
Correct.
the death engine. Got it.
Yep. And then we've got the Swarm Cry, who's basically just a cheap standard bearer.
Uh-huh.
Master Scurrier with the gnome glass
Ooh,
shield.
see, this is what I was talking about. Is putting the gnome glass shield on assassin type lower defense characters. I think
Yep.
is really interesting. A nice little tech piece there for sure.
Yeah, because it's +2, right?
No, it makes them
Plus 2
defense
defense.
6. It makes
Oh,
them
it's
defense
automatically
6.
defense 6 for 1 turn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Okay.
until they take
Until
damage.
you do a wound. Yeah.
Yeah, until you take wound.
Yeah, so that could be super annoying.
Maybe it is +2 defense, and I was just thinking then putting it on defense 4 would be the optimal choice. I can't remember now, but it will make a defense 4 guy defense 6. Yeah.
Yep. 2 mutant rat fiends and a warrior's regiment because it seems like he must have needed the unlocks.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good list.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
I don't
good.
know. I don't know if Hughes played much this year because Victoria, where he's from, has experienced most of last year in lockdown. The poor buggers. So he might need a couple of games to work out the kinks, but then I think he'll put that list to good use.
Yeah, he's got some bodies. He's got some shooting. He's got the Master Scurrier, who's great to kind of run around and cause problems. He's got the mutant rat fiend monster. Yeah, solid list for sure.
I think that's a good list. So we saw Tracey. Let's go the only Abyss list. So John Paul, the double barrel, John Paul Fuller Jackson, is from the Goonhammer guys who've been doing a lot of write-ups.
Oh, they've been doing a lot of content lately.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying reading that stuff. So it's good to have them get into the game. So he is taking the only Forces of the Abyss list.
And this is I was sure that that's what Jeff Trace was going to take. We had we were chatting about it during our last the Quail Cup, and I was convinced he was going to take Abyssals to Clash of Kings, but
yeah, he likes to surprise people, Tracy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't usually like to take things he's taken before. So I mean, the thing with Tracy is he enjoys winning, but he's not going to turn out the same list every year to do it.
So a champion and a gentleman.
Yeah,
you're saying
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If only he wasn't 83 years old.
Yes.
So we've got some gargoyles because you need gargoyles, right?
Yeah.
Some tortured souls
which are better now.
Oh, aren't they so much better again?
Yeah, because they got the TC back, or they have the crushing and TC now. So
yeah, so good. And that boots of striding means they're keeping it too, right? So
yes.
Abyssal Horseman, Brew of Sharpness, that's a good item on them.
Yep.
The Cronius.
What's
Temporal Ruptures? I haven't.
That's the redistribution of, or when he has some wound mitigation when he does when he's doing damage, he can pull wounds off, like kind of like the Well of Souls a little bit mechanic.
Yep. An Abyssal Fiend, who after playing Steve Forster a few times, oh man, those Abyssal Fiends are good.
They are good.
Yeah. Abyssal Champion with the Gnome Glass Shield, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And wings, so that can be a real pain in the bum. That one. Yeah.
I think you can also run that on the Succubus, right? Because she has Ensnare. So the flying Succubus, give her the shield, and you know what I mean? So then it's like really tough to take it off, but good on a champion too.
Yeah. And I think there's such a value increase from Def 5 to Def 6, isn't there?
A big time. Yeah.
Yep. Abyssal Warlock, because you need Abyssal Warlocks. I mean, they're points
amazing.
One of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yep. The Manifestation of Baal.
Yeah, good.
Which, how often have you seen From the Pit I Curse Thee used?
I mean, sometimes. I think Tom Annis carries a picture in his phone of the one time he did it and got like 10 units with it. And he shows it to you every time. It's like saved, literally. It's saved on his phone. He's like, let me show you the best time that I used it. It's pretty good, but Abyssals was always, prior to this last cock pack, I always felt it was the best army that no one was playing. Yeah. And just not a lot of people are playing it in the US, like only a handful. So I mean, I can't even say I haven't played against them in a year in tournaments. So
yeah, and I think it's really interesting. I totally agree, and I think that's still the case because it's a list where you can almost do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those ones where you could have like a 6,000 point army and take whatever kind of meta choice you want.
They got a
Yeah.
lot of great choices. They kind of remind me of Undead in that way, in that they have a
Mm.
lot of great choices to do different things. Like you can take Molochs, build a super heavy, but the whole like if you're running like double Cronius with the Well of Souls and you have this ability to really move wounds around, and it makes all your defense 4 stuff actually really hard to kill.
Yep. Yeah.
What does
Absolutely.
do you know what is Kaz
So that's
Saaz?
the formation.
Okay.
Um,
With lower abyssals, right? In that formation, I think.
yeah, so it's the regiment and the horde of lower abyssals,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a despoiler champion in there, so we'll have to look that up.
Okay.
Have you got your thing?
Both the inspiring aura. So the spoiler champion, he gains the inspiring aura, life leech +2 for infantry only.
Oof,
And whenever
okay.
the regiment of lower abyssals, they're called Kazaz maggots, whenever they suffer a rout result, all units in base contact with that unit suffer D3 +1 hits with piercing 1 and gain the frozen special rule. So it's like a mini whatever that thing's called that explodes.
I think that's an interesting formation.
Yeah.
Life Leech 2 is, and I'd say that's why he's exchanged the shields on the regiment to give the crushing 1.
Yeah.
Because Life Leech, obviously that makes them a little more resilient.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
interesting. I like
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
And those guys, I mean, I haven't met those two in person, him and Matt, but I think they know wargaming, so it'll be interesting to see, how they go getting it on the table.
Nice.
One of the Salamanders lists I want to show. I'll keep scrolling. Oh, so Ken Ferris famously had a game. Ken's a pretty decent player. He's won it before. But, he had a game against Tracy where he didn't take 1 unit off.
Oh, geez.
Last year. Yep. So the Pillow Fighter for Least Attrition Award was that year named the Ken Ferris Award, because no one else had zero attrition. So my computer's having a conniption. So I'm just here we go. All right, let's go. Oh, here's Matt Selleck. He's watching. So why don't we do his undead list? Yep. So I don't think anyone had ever accused Matt of being a power gamer.
Okay.
Is that
were you being sarcastic, or is that true?
No, for true. True.
Okay.
Loves the game, but he's not going to bring an absolutely powerful list. And I have a feeling that some of this list might be structured around what he has painted, because he really
right
wants
off
to
the
bring
bat.
his undead.
That's what it feels like to me. Like, let's make a list of what models I have.
Yep. Yeah. Are you? Is that a euphemism for this is a shit list?
No.
Jeremy?
It's just when you have when it's no. When it's like you have one of this, as opposed to those lists where it's like I have 2 of this. I have more in like I don't know what it is. It was more like, oh, this reminds me of my undead. What I have in my undead stuff, which is like not all the super cheese. So I was trying to compliment him, but you had to be a dickhead. So continue. I was trying to compliment you, Selleck, so be mad to this didgeridoo.
Careful, or I'll show you my didgeridoo.
Oh, okay. I'll get ready for it. Okay, go continue.
Zombies. So regimented legion. So you don't see too many legions of zombies on a board, do you? Revenant Horde with Brewer Strength. I quite like that.
Yeah, defense 5, really tough to kill.
Yep, and then puts out some damage with a bit of life leech to back it up.
Definitely.
So Death Pack. Okay, so I think from memory the Death Pack aren't shambling.
They are not.
Yeah, so a little bit of faster moving chaff compared to the rest. Soul Reaver Cav with Chalice of Wrath. Again, I think that's a painting choice. I can't bring myself to love these guys anymore because the infantry are too good.
It's one of those things where you used to have a choice, right? Where it's like, well, these guys are faster, but the infantry just hit so hard. But if you are going to take them, I like the Chalice of Wrath, which is the Fury item.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is your vampires to get wavered. So if you are going to take them, I like that item on them. But yeah, the infantry is just so good.
And I think these guys really suffered as well from being too bloody good in the original version 2, pre-Cox. Remember how good they were?
Yes, I do remember very well. They were amazeballs. Defense 6, just crushing strength. Oh man, just so good.
Yeah. So like it feels, I think they've always suffered from never feeling like they used to.
Yeah.
Zombie troll horde, which I don't mind that. If you can
No,
get
it's
into
good.
a flank, that's good. Obligatory white horde. Everyone knows the white horde. A Gorblight. Vampire on Pegasus.
I like the vamp on the Pegasus. That's a nice piece.
Yeah, large cav base.
It's cheaper, it's smaller, easy to maneuver around. It still hits like a truck in the flank. It's
absolutely.
Nice.
Yep. Necromancer with Bane Chant. Cursed Pharaoh with Wings of Honey Maze.
An oldie but a goodie.
Yep, and Standard Bearer with the loot. So a bit of a mix of this there from Selleck.
Yeah, I mean, I like you put Bane Chant on that horde of revenants, and all of a sudden they're crushing too. They can punch. Same thing. You put Bane Chant on the zombie legion. Yeah. So he's got a couple of great Bane Chant targets.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got Hugh saying, "I love how undead players act like the fact that a unit can get wavered is a huge downside." Too used to playing with Fearless. All right, let's find.
But I like it. Nice list.
Yeah.
Celestial Fury.
Yeah, you'd like looking at this. So again, a very elite list. 9 units.
It hurts. I know it. As a Basilean player, it hurts. 2,000 points hurts.
So we've got a single unit of chaff.
Okay.
two paladin knights.
Yes, this is very familiar to me. This list so far.
A whole bunch of angels.
Okay. Well, that's
now,
a lot of
difference since Cock though is that they pair really well with the knights.
Oh, I think knights got so much better, not because anything happened to them, but because of what happened to Elohi. I think knights, regiments, and Basalia are way better now.
Yep, exactly. So So for anyone that doesn't know, they've got, is it Divine
Fervor is what it's called.
Divine Fervor. Yeah. So when they're in combat with something that has the human special rule,
yes,
it gets elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically you combo charge with those knights. They only have 16 attacks, the Basilean knights. But 16 attacks on 3s with elite is a lot different. So it makes a difference.
Yeah, and that fragment makes them a bit more resilient as well. So if they happen to have to take a charge,
looks like he went down to defense 4 on the hordes to pick up the extra crushing, and then kept defense 5 on the regiments. Okay, yeah, I get it. Nice build up.
So I mean, I think at face value, you can look at the line 9 drops and go, it's not going to survive very long. But if you get that into the right combats early and blow some hammers off the board, it's really going to wreck some face, I think.
Yeah, you need to delete things with this list. If he gets stuck anywhere, he has so few drops, it's going to be bad news. But he has the tools to pick stuff up in one round of combat.
Yep.
I probably would like to see one less horde of Elohi, and then instead pick up a Gur Panther, pick up a little, maybe try to break that up, because 9 drops at 2K, I don't know, that's hard.
That is hard work.
Like, I would love to drop the horde and get Samachris and another Gur Panthers.
Yeah. So we've got a request from Roxy's borrowed gobos. So let's go back up. I think we passed you, Roxy. Or maybe not. Might have passed. Are these in alphabetical order? Maybe they are. Yep. Where are you, Roxy? Roxanne, another gobbo using 4. So Roxy during the week realized she had 4 rabble in her 4 rabble in her list, and she hadn't built any rabble.
Oh geez.
So communities come to the rescue for Roxy, and she's borrowing 4 regiments of rabble.
Isn't that great when you can? That's just like what makes our scene so amazing.
Yeah, isn't it? And multiple offers as well. So
great.
Yeah. So Sharpsticks horde, 2 Lugget gangs. So she's after Roxy.
Love the Luggets. Yeah, love the Luggets.
4 rabble regiment. Oh, man. So I'd be putting 1 in each corner just at the start of the game. First 2 drops. I mean, look at this comparatively to the Elohi, right? Is we've got 17
Totally. There's an objective token behind a forest. You just put one of those regiments on that objective token, and then it just never moves.
Yep.
For the whole game. Yeah.
Yep. Goblin Slasher. That's cool.
Okay.
I don't think you see enough of those on there.
No.
A couple of hordes of trolls and a more pup launcher. A troll bruiser
who's really good.
Really good now, right?
Yeah, boss, super boss. Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got Groany Snark do 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 Groany Snark do 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 do. Who becomes speed tone fly thunderous charge 2 blast D3. So he's basically a mini wingit. A whiz with the periscope and bane chant. That's a good option. A boomstick on another whiz, another wingit, and a flag it. I don't mind that list actually.
No, it's very good.
I think it's going to struggle putting out enough hurt, given that the trolls hit on 4s.
Scenario-wise, though, against those 9-drop units, this is going to be actually a tough list to play against. Because
Agreed.
Are there enough turns in the game for you to kill all their stuff?
Yep. No. Yeah. So Roxy knows where it's at. She gets me with my Granny Snark song. Yeah. You wouldn't have had to experience Baby Shark too much.
Oh, I know it very well. Mama Shark do 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 do. I like the death metal version though. Not that or the 80s synth tech version. Not that I've listened to any of that.
Yeah. This is one I definitely wanted to go through. So Stephen Devonish, you'd remember him from Call to Arms.
Yes.
So Stephen's a very good player. Yeah, again, hasn't had a lot of opportunity to play in real life, I think. Recently. So his main problem, I think, will be, how we've spoken of the difficulty transitioning from UB to the tabletop.
Yes, which is a real thing. Yeah.
And also tighter time frames as well.
Yeah.
But Steve is a very good player. So he has a horde of tyrants with the boots of striding.
Okay.
He has a rhinosaur cavalry horde.
So good.
Greater fire elemental. And then he has Rakawas the Pale Rider. So this has come up a couple of times.
That guy's a boss. Now.
Yeah. Have you got his stats there?
Yeah, I'll pull him up because I played. Ryan Munsel's been using that guy a lot, and we've been testing lately. So I have played against a few times.
When I looked at it during play testing, I was like, yes, that guy is good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So speed 6. He is a hero titan, so a big monster. Speed 6, 12 attacks, hits on 3s, defense 5, crushing strength 2, nimble, vicious, has a fire breath. 1820 though, defense 5. That is something that's just big, tough to kill, almost like a tank. You know what I mean? Like a beast tank that just moves around and is really tough to kill.
Well, the way I look at it is it's almost a discount. Like he's almost got the discount for not flying as a dragon, right? Oh. So he's on the ground, so he's got a bit of a discount there, but he's got 12 attacks.
It's like the ultimate giant. You know what I mean? It's like giant but buffed, or like a big non-flying monster where he gets all that points reduction from not flying.
Yeah, not much more expensive than a giant, right?
Yeah. No, I love that guy.
And so and then he's got the Whispering Scales formation, which is the battle captain and 2 Salamander Prime regiments. What does that give him, Jeremy? If you've still got
the Whispering Scales get scout and stealthy, I think. And the battle captain, I think, gives them an elite aura. Let me reopen the window. Hold on. All units in this formation gave the Whispering Scale keywords and both the scout and stealthy special rules, and then the battle captain has an aura elite for the primes.
Yeah, right. That's a nice formation. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And then we've got Scorch Wings, one of the best buff units from Cock.
Oh, so good.
Ember Sprites, Tackle, a Lachilodon, Ancients in a Troop with the skirmishing boots, so that makes them a lot better, even though they were already good. And then Clan Lord with the Banner of Abbottshire, which I think is is that the Spell Ward or the stealthy one?
The Abbottshire is the spell word. 99% sure that's what.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. Yeah. Oh, and then Steve's actually watching. Yeah. So the battle captain gets inspiring.
Yes, and he gets inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah. cool. I think this is a very good list, and
Yeah,
Stephen
super
being
good list.
a very good player, yeah, I might just have to walk past him every game and just stress him out by whispering clock, clock, clock.
Scorch
Yeah,
Wings may be one of the most improved units in the whole pack from where it was before to where it is now. It would be in my
correct.
top 5 list of most
Mm,
improved units.
mm. Yeah. No, I would agree. So it's not a super fast list, so might struggle with some of those shooting heavy lists, but
Mhm.
um, the blackjack maps have a good amount of terrain, basically 2 of everything. So I have faith in you, Stephen, to do it for Canberra.
You can do it.
You can do it. So we've got another request. Dale, Dale wants us to go through his list. Let
Okay.
me scroll up. D is for Dale. Da, da, da.
Well, let's take a and thanks everyone for listening to the. We've had a bunch of people in this episode.
Yeah, we
People,
have.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Aussie crowd bringing it.
yeah. Bring it every Monday, guys.
Uh-huh.
Don't miss. All right, Dale Hastings. So he calls this the low and slow barbecue.
Ooh,
It's not
I
on
dig
there.
it. I dig the flavor.
So ironclad regiment with the mastiffs, because you got to on
Uh-huh.
ironclad.
You
They're
have
too
to.
cheap not to. Yep.
That's why you buy
Um,
them.
Yep. Iron Watch rifles,
Okay.
150. So that's interesting. They got a little bit of, oh, so he's got 2 of those ironclad. They're just spread out weirdly.
The rifles hit on
Um,
4s in combat now, I believe, too, right? I think they got a
yes.
buff. So
Yep, absolutely. Warsmith, who's inspiring. I, oh, I still don't rate the Warsmith as a choice. Actually,
yeah,
yeah, I
I'm
don't think
not
he's good
sure.
enough yet. Yeah. Shield breakers with a mastiff. Triple flame belcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just roasty toasty.
Yep. So everyone
Remember
that,
at testing when flame belchers were like unbelievable right at the beginning, and they were
oh
just
yeah,
like they were just like way
yeah.
too good.
I have to say, dwarf players should hate me because I did campaign for them
It's
not
his
to be as good at them.
it's his fault up here. You could have had
Yeah.
nuclear flame belchers.
Yeah, yeah. Then 2 elemental hordes, so something for everything to fall
Uh-huh.
against. 2 stone priests with Bane Chant, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm guessing that's what he's wanting to do is surge each one and keep the option open of then, because they've got the special rule that allows you to Bane Chant in the same turn.
Yeah.
Yep. And a greater earth elemental and berserker Brock Riders with Pipes of Terror. I think Brutal's a good option on them.
Yeah. No, it's very good, especially with those units that hit on 4s. It gives you an
Mm.
automatic wound. You know what I mean? So it's nice to give some variance defense in that one.
Yep. I think this list will still struggle against quick ones. I think it'd struggle against something like AG's Nightstalkers because I think the lightning bolt can just pop stuff off. And the Iron Watch rifles probably don't quite do enough to guard you from that. But man, if something gets in range of that barbecue,
Yeah, he's just got to really make sure that he has all his spacing correct, because
mm,
as you're moving the flame belchers up, you're also moving up your elementals looking for surge angles. And if you
yep,
have a flame belcher right at the wrong spot and you're trying to move past this, so this is going to be one that I think is really good, but he's got to make sure he doesn't get in your own way sometimes when you're trying to move all that stuff up. But
absolutely. Because yeah, you got to maintain. Oh, yeah, you got to maintain line of sight. So,
yeah.
um, so I'm
Well, and
trying to
just
remember.
angles on surging too. Sometimes you have the
Yeah,
perfect angle on surge, but you hit your own unit right
yeah,
before you'd hit the enemy.
yeah, absolutely. And because I'm trying to remember how they got better. So they went up to speed 5, I think.
The flame
And
belchers,
yeah,
and they have shattering now too, I believe.
yes, speed 5 and shattering. That's right. Yeah.
Um, which shattering is no joke, especially when you think of that's brutal or whatever you want to call that sort of rule. It's like it is really nice rule.
Well, and even though they're only
Flame belcher.
speed 5, that still makes it a range of 17 inches, right? Which brings, most chaff is going to have to sit in that
No, and
range.
remember, flame belchers went up to range 14 inches, so their
Oh,
effective
range
range is
14,
is
19.
18.
Oh, 18. So
Because they're
they didn't
speed.
get speed 5. They got,
No,
yeah,
they're speed 4, but 15 attacks. It gives you a little bit more threat projection, which is
mm,
nice.
yeah, they'd be quite good at popping chaff.
Yeah,
Mm.
which is something dwarfs, are so slow. You just chaff them up. So at least this gives you some tools to take care of that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
So
a solid list. Yeah.
yeah, we might just do one more because we've hit our
Okay.
hour. Let's see. Now my computer's going to have a conniption. Right. Let's do.
Oh, we were gonna do Clarky's, right? So we could talk about how bad it was. Did we do his?
We haven't done his. Where are we?
Oh, okay.
Did you just see him?
You just passed him, so that's why.
Oh yeah, there we
I
go.
don't know
Yep.
that. Okay.
He's taking Nightstalkers. So one of the 4 Nightstalker lists.
Okay.
He's jumping on the bandwagon. He's hoping that a really good list will make him a better player, I think.
Since he's so bad, yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, Clarky, it won't. I actually think this is a nice balanced list, and he's got it painted really nicely, actually.
Okay.
So 2 Scarecrow regiments, because why not?
Yeah.
2 Reaper regiments. So they're like Berserker style, aren't they?
Yes, Reapers are like high volume attack units.
Yeah, so nice. I like 2 troops of Phantoms. I think Phantoms are very good for
Phantoms are. Yeah, I'm on your same page with you. I like Phantoms too.
I'd be having a couple of Phantoms in my list if I wasn't going shooting heavy.
Yeah.
2 Butcher Hordes, 1 with Maquas,
Classic.
2 Mind Screechers, and
Classic.
a Horror. Yeah, so I think that's to me, that's something I'd be comfortable with taking. A couple of Mind Screechers and a Horror to be able to get enough other stuff on the board if you don't want to go too far in one direction.
Yeah.
He's got Fiends with Sharpness for a little bit of speed, and a Dread Fiend. A Dread Fiend can be money.
Yeah, and then with the Phantoms, he has some stuff to move up with his Fiends. With Sharpness, because that's the only thing he needs, that Fiend unit to do work. That's a lot of points invested in them, so just make sure he protects that unit. But he's got some tools, and those Reapers are great, like second line attack. Something gets stuck up against those butchers, which are impossible to kill sometimes. The Reapers come in and just like munch Resident Evil, munch their faces off.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So who's going to win? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you're going to still talk about this list, because we know Clarky's not going to win. So
no.
Just kidding.
I would say AG is very good and has a very good list. So I think that's the right combination that could do well. So I mean, Troshi's always in there. I think Steve with his Salamanders is a real chance. Selleck rates himself. Yep, but no one else does.
Yeah. Dark horse pick. Or dark kangaroo pick. I don't know what it is.
Dark kangaroo. Well, let me go back to
a dark koala. Or it'd be the opposite. So it would be a light koala. The light koala pick.
Yeah, true. Let's go because this will remind me of everyone that's coming.
Trying to see if I recognize any more names.
No, so we get a lot of people. So Hugh would be a dark horse actually, because Hugh's a very good player, and the only reason he'd be a dark horse is because he doesn't play enough. But he plays.
But his list is really good. I like his list
good,
a lot.
And he's good. Yeah. He made Masters last time we ran Masters.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, and then I probably don't know enough about the Goonhammer boys.
Okay.
Ken's won it before, but I don't think his style of herd list with the multiple what are the owlbear things? Guardian brutes. I don't think it can cut the mustard.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let him go soon, Hillary. I'll let him go soon.
My wife needs me to do things, so I'm just kidding. We're having some friends come over for a game
night.
Keep
it clean, mate. Keep it clean.
It's always clean. That's what your mouth is for.
We don't want this channel reported. So yeah, I would be saying my smoky, even though it's not a massive smoky, would be Hugh.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But I'd have my betting money on AG or Trashy.
Okay. I can't wait to come. Like it's on my one of these years. I will be there for Aussie Clash of Kings. It will happen.
Yeah. We'll look after you, mate. Yeah.
Just
plenty of didgeridoos to go around.
Just keep away all those spiders from me, because that will like make my noggin melt. What are those things called?
Oh man, yesterday, great day here. Wife goes, "Can you get the water play table out for the 2-year-old?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Where is it?" Behind the shed. I'm like, "Okay." I didn't even realize anything could fit behind the shed. And Oh man, it was
You saw
dodging
some
bullets.
things?
Yeah, there was so many
Oh man,
spiders.
that creeps me out, man.
Yeah, so many spiders.
And it's summer there now, right?
Yeah, they're
Summer.
everywhere.
Okay.
They're everywhere, mate. Yeah, we'll catch them as you know as Luke said. Yeah, we can send you some, mate. Even if they shrivel up on the way, they'll still be as big as your
Oh
hand.
no, Luke, don't please, please, because I can handle them okay. It's Hillary is the big spider. Like she hates spiders. She's like, kill it dead.
Oh,
She wants me to do exterminatus whenever I see like a spider. She's like, kill it.
did I ever tell you about the one in my bedroom once?
You've told me about the one in your bedroom, but not a spider. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No. So one morning, like 5 o'clock, about me, my first morning in ages to sleep in, right?
Okay.
Wife starts going, wake up, wake up. I'm like, what? Oh, she's like, there's a big spider there. And so like a huntsman, like that big, right? So be at least half the size of my face. Most of
So
its
what do you
legs,
do?
right?
Do you kill it, or do you try to just? Are they? How do? What do you put it outside, or what do you like? What's,
Well, just depends. Anyway,
okay.
I'm like, it's like 5 meters away from us. I'm like, it's not doing anything. Let's just leave it. I'm sleeping. And she goes, it's looking at me. And I'm like, and I went, it's not looking at you. She's like, you have to do something with it. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to catch and release. Okay.
Okay, so you're just gonna kill it.
Yeah. So I went
Do
and
you
I got
feel it's
something.
like
It was up
bones
high.
crunch?
Killed it. Right. Yeah. I did. Oh no, actually when I let go, because I made the mistake of a soft thing. So it didn't completely squish it, and then so it hit the ground and started running. So
and
then
then
I had to
started
kill
to
it.
flee, like
Exactly. Yeah. But as flee as quickly as a thing that big can.
Oh my god, you guys! I do want to
Anyway,
go on walkabout, so I'm ready to go on
next
walkabout.
morning, I wake up.
It's families there pissed at you.
Thousands of baby spiders hatched on my roof.
Nice.
On the ceiling.
And you killed their mother.
I killed
you
their
horrible,
mommy.
you horrible human being.
I know. So I had to take a vacuum cleaner to the ceiling.
No.
Oh,
fuck.
Oh, ridiculous. Yeah, that was gross. But that was a big spider. Not as big as some, but yeah. And I don't think it was looking at us.
There are many like it, but this one is yours, basically.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for being the only one to join us on today.
Whoa, it seemed like people liked a little bit of Croger and Jay, season 1, episode 1.
Yeah, J Crow.
Yeah,
way better than J-Lo.
Oh man, I gotta try to find some pictures of my old school Jeremy dude bro. So you made me think of J. Crew when I had like the blonde spiky hair with the blonde tips and like the rings and the wallet chain and like the the collar with the collar up. I gotta try to find some of those.
Gold, please do.
Yeah,
mate. I'll make it the next banner image for next week for YouTube.
We need to find some. That's what we need. We need to get pictures of all of us when we were like 19. And see, like do a homage.
You'll never believe it. I had hair.
You did? Was it like glorious locks?
Yeah, it was. Long, like big blonde and curly, man.
Ooh, I love it. Stop. Yeah. Okay, that's as much as I can handle in one night. So I gotta go eat some tacos.
All right. Okay. Another euphemism, but anyway. All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Until next time, keep countercharging.